Are you planning your very first trip to Disneyland? If so, then I have got you covered. I've been more times than I can count, and today I'm sharing everything I wish I knew before my first visit. So, whether you're going with kids or a big group or just trying to figure it all out for the first time, this video is going to make your trip way easier and a lot more magical. And I'm going to keep it condensed because you don't have a lot of time to sit and figure everything out. So I'm going to tell you everything you need to know right in this little video so that you are prepared and you know what you're doing. It's going to make your trip so much less stressful. Here's the things we're going to be talking about. Stick around till the end because I've got tips that'll save you time, money, and major stress. All right, let's jump in. First off, I'm Melissa with Mix and Some Magic. I share Disney planning tips, park strategies, lots of fun Disney things, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of my other videos. First up, you're going to need a ticket and a park reservation to enter Disneyland. You need both. I recommend buying tickets early and please don't pay full price. My travel partners at Getaway Today have discounted tickets and discounted hotels. I've been using them to book my vacations for over 20 years and they're absolutely the best. You're always going to get the best price. They have layaway plans and their park tickets are refundable. Plus, if a better deal comes out, they will refund you the difference. You don't get that when you book directly through Disney. So make sure you use Getaway Today. I'll put a link in the show description, or you can give them a call at 855-GETAWAY. Just make sure you tell them Mix and Some Magic sent you to get the best rates. Next, you're going to download the Disneyland app. You use it for everything, and you really can't get away with not having it. You're going to be using it to check ride wait times, mobile ordering food, booking lightning lanes. There's a map on there so you can figure out where to go, the entertainment schedule. There's even the PhotoPass filters that are really fun to use, or if you're just getting your picture taken, the PhotoPass photographer will scan your QR code on your Disneyland app. It really is a must-have, so make sure it is downloaded and ready to go on your phone. Disneyland Resort has two parks. There's Disneyland Park, the original with the castle and Fantasyland and Tomorrowland. And then there's also California Adventure, which is home to Pixar Pier, Avengers Campus, Cars Land, and lots of other things. Now, you can buy one park per day tickets, or you can buy park hopper tickets. If you have a park hopper ticket, you can switch parks starting at 11 a.m. Now, I always recommend that people don't pay extra for a park hopper ticket. There is so much to see and do in each park that it really, for most people, is not a great use of their money. It's expensive to upgrade to a park hopper, and most people don't need it. They're happy to just stay in one park or the other, so you'll have to decide what's best for your family, but for most people, just a one park per day ticket is the best way to go. Let's talk about how many days you should spend in the park. I recommend 3 days at least. If you can splurge and do more, then 4 is amazing too. But if you're going to really get a feel for Disneyland and not have to feel rushed and stressed and trying to hurry to get everything done, then 3 days is perfect. I recommend 2 days at Disneyland, 1 day at California Adventure Park, or if you're going 4 days, you would do 2 days in each park. Let's talk about hotels and transportation. Disneyland has 3 on-site hotels. There's the Disneyland Hotel, Pixar Place Hotel, and the Grand Californian. They're beautiful, they're full of Disney detail, and if you are staying on property, you get early entry into either Disneyland or California Adventure Park, depending on the day, 30 minutes before the park opens, which is a really big perk. Disneyland hotels for most people are a splurge because they are very expensive, much more expensive than hotels at Disney World. But don't fret because there are a lot of really great alternatives right in the area, and some of them are even closer than the on-property hotels. So if you're wanting to stay nearby without breaking the budget, check out the hotels that are across the street on Harbor Boulevard. Many are just like a 5-10 minute walk from the front gates. Now, I have toured or stayed at over 40 of them, and I'm going to link my top picks down below with a discounted pricing so that you can find the perfect place to stay. I like staying at a hotel within walking distance because it gives me a lot of flexibility and control. I can show up when I want, I can leave when I want, and I can just walk, which I really prefer. But if you are staying a little farther away, Then you can Uber, you can drive yourself to the parks using your car or a rental car. In that case, you would pay to park in either the Toy Story lot or the Mickey and Friends lot. Or there is also the ART bus system, and this is a great option. The ART loops through local hotels and drops you off right at the main gate. So no matter where you're staying, there is likely an ART shuttle bus stop right nearby that you can hop on the bus and it will take you right to Disneyland. Let's talk about dining at Disneyland. Food is a big part of the Disneyland experience and it helps to plan ahead. If you want a sit-down meal or character dining like Goofy's Kitchen or Blue Bayou or Plaza Inn Breakfast with Minnie, then you need to book a reservation. There's sometimes a walk-up available, but if you know you want to eat there, it's just best to book a reservation. Reservations open up 60 days in advance, and they do go quickly for some of the more popular ones. So make sure if you want to dine somewhere with reservations, you make a reservation. Now, reservations do open up, so if there's not one available right at that 60-day mark, don't panic because you can still keep checking and people will drop them, and then hopefully you'll be able to pick one up. If you are serious about getting a hard to get reservation, then I recommend signing up with Mouse Dining. You tell them where you want to eat, when, how many people you have, and then they will watch for the reservation to open up for you and then send you an alert when it opens up and you can go over and book it. So I've had really great luck using Mouse Dining, so that's an option for you if you prefer. Dining reservations are great, but there are a ton of quick service options around the Disneyland Resort, and they're really, really good. So if you go your whole vacation without having a sit-down dining reservation meal or experience, that would be totally fine because there are so many great quick service options and most of them have mobile ordering. Now, mobile ordering is amazing because you just use your phone, you use the Disneyland app that we already talked about, and you order your food, you pay for it right from the app, and then when it's time for you to eat, you click a little button that says, I'm here, prepare my food, you go and find a table, and they send you an alert. When your food is ready, you go to the mobile order pickup window, grab your tray, and take it back to your hungry family, and you don't have to wait in line. So it's pretty amazing. I recommend using it if it's available for wherever you are eating because it's a huge time saver. A lot of people wonder if you can bring your own food and drinks into the parks, and the answer is yes. You can bring snacks, you can bring water bottles, you can bring soda. You just can't bring in alcohol or glass containers, but I like to pack chips and drinks and fruit snacks and candy. I've even packed full lunches for my kids and just piled it all into a cooler backpack and carried around all day. Then when it's time for lunch, I pull out sandwiches and all the things, and we save a lot of money that way. So if you are interested in saving some money or you just don't want to wait in some long lines to grab a snack, then definitely bring in your own. Disney has a really, really great outside food policy, and I appreciate it so much. All right, let's talk about skipping the lines because nobody wants to spend all day in the standby line. Disneyland has something called the Lightning Lane Multi-Pass. It's a paid add-on that lets you use the Lightning Lane, which is the faster line. There's a standby line, and then there's a Lightning Lane. So if you have Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, you can use the Lightning Lane to enter some attractions. Not all the attractions, but the more popular attractions, and this will save you a lot of time. Now, Lightning Lane works differently at Disneyland than it does at Disney World. At Disney World, you can pre-book some Lightning Lanes for every day. Disneyland doesn't let you do that. You can't book your Lightning Lane until you have scanned in to the park for the day, and then you can begin booking Lightning Lanes using the Disneyland app. Once you select your return time, then you can go do whatever else you want, go on different rides, you can go to shops, restaurants, and then when it's your return time, then you can scan into your Lightning Lane, enjoy the attraction, and then you can make another Lightning Lane selection. So you can make another Lightning Lane as soon as you scan into your first Lightning Lane or 2 hours later, whichever comes first. So if it's 11:30 in the morning and I make a Lightning Lane reservation for Space Mountain, but my return time isn't until 3 o'clock, I can make another Lightning Lane reservation 2 hours later, which would be at 1:30. So I would still have that 3 o'clock for Space Mountain, but I can make another one at 1:30. So I like to set an alarm on my phone so I can make sure to book another Lightning Lane, and that way you can kind of stack them a little bit, and that will save you lots of time. Now, Lightning Lane is amazing. It really does save you time if you know how to use it correctly. but it is expensive and it can add up for families. So if it is too much for your budget, if it's just not working, then it's okay to skip it. But just realize that there will be times that you have to wait in some longer lines, but that's okay. And you can kind of stay away from those longer lines by arriving early, rope dropping in the morning, which means getting to the parks about 45 minutes before they open so you can go through security, go through the ticket booth, and be inside the park when it officially opens, because Disneyland will open gates about 30 minutes before the park opens, so you can start getting inside and lining up. And then as soon as the park opens, you can hit a bunch of rides really quickly before other people are even really up and going for the day. So if you're not getting Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, or even if you are, rope dropping is a really great way to save a ton of time and get you on a bunch of rides first thing in the morning with a very minimal wait. Before we move off of Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, I want to tell you that it covers a lot of the big rides like Guardians of the Galaxy and Indiana Jones and Space Mountain and Toy Story. If you have a park hopper, then it is good for both parks. So it's not like you have to buy another Lightning Lane Multi-Pass for Disneyland if you already have one for California Adventure Park. So if you're park hopping that day, it covers both parks, which is really great. But there are two rides that it does not cover, and they are the two most popular rides in the park. That's Rise of the Resistance and Radiator Springs Racers. Those are attractions that everybody wants to get on, and they are not included in the Lightning Lane Multi-Pass at this time. So your options for those are to wait in the standby line, or you can go single rider on Radiator Springs Racers. Rise of the Resistance does not have a single rider line option right now, or you can purchase an individual Lightning Lane and ride the attraction that way. It's usually $20 to $25 per person just for that ride, but it will get you on really quickly. So just putting that out there. I never buy the individual Lightning Lanes because it is not worth it to me, but a lot of people do. A lot of people enjoy it, and I just want you to know that that is an option. Let's talk about meeting characters and entertainment. Meeting characters is a must, especially for first timers. You can find Mickey and Friends over on Main Street, the Princesses in Fantasyland, Pixar Pals over on Pixar Pier, and Marvel Heroes in Avengers Campus. You can actually check the Disneyland app to find your favorite characters, figure out where they're going to be and when, and this is a huge time saver. Now, some people like to bring autograph books and have the characters sign them. The characters love to take photos. Even if you don't have PhotoPass, cast members are happy to use your phone to take a photo for you. Don't be shy. The characters love interacting with guests and taking pictures. Even if you're not a kid, you can totally get a hug from your favorite character. And please don't skip the entertainment. Disneyland's parades and fireworks and nighttime shows are unforgettable. They're very well done, and they are included with your park ticket, so you might as well take advantage of them and enjoy. There's World of Color over in California Adventure Park, there's Fantasmic, there's a fireworks show, and then there's parades, and they are all fabulous. So they are worth planning your day around a little bit so you can really enjoy some of that entertainment. The nighttime entertainment's amazing, daytime entertainment's great. All the entertainment is well worth your time. So check the app for show times and don't miss it. All right, let's talk about saving some money because Disneyland is magical, but it is not cheap. Bring your own snacks and water. We already talked about this a little bit, but it's worth mentioning because it can save you a ton of money. I also recommend setting a souvenir budget for kids and adults because it can get out of hand really quickly. So we like to set a souvenir budget for our kids, and I tell them they are not allowed to buy a souvenir until the last day of our trip. I do this because almost every single time my kid finds a souvenir on the very first day that they are head over heels excited about. And if I purchase it for them on the first day, chances are the second day or the third day, they're going to find something that they like even better and have huge regrets. So nobody's allowed to buy a souvenir until the last day. If there's something they see that they love, then I make a little note of where it is. And if that's what they still want at the end of the trip, then we go back and buy it as long as it fits within their budget. Another way to save money is to make sure you have everything you need before you arrive in the parks. Now, Disneyland Smart, they have just about everything you need, but you're going to pay extra for it. So make sure you bring your sunscreen, bring any medication you might need. If you think you're going to get a headache and you probably will, bring some Advil or Tylenol. Check the weather before you show up. If it's going to be rainy, make sure you bring your own ponchos, things like that. That will save you a lot of money. And probably the best way to save the most money is to book through my travel partners at Getaway Today, because hotels and tickets are going to cost you the very most. That's going to be the biggest expense of your trip. Likely, I guess maybe airfare also if you are flying, but hotel and tickets are going to be a huge part of your budget. And if you can save money there, that's amazing. You can take that money and put it towards other things. I'll put a link down in the show description with more information. Now, one thing I really want to make sure you understand is that you cannot see and do everything all in one trip. There's just no time. So if I were you, each day I would pick out some things that you really want to experience that day, whether they're attractions or entertainment or characters or food, and make sure you focus on those things. Get those done because they're the most important, and then anything else that you end up doing will just be a bonus. I've seen way too many people trying to jam pack their trips as much as possible, and then it ends up not being very fun for anyone because they're rushing from thing to thing to thing and not really soaking it in and enjoying the magic, and I don't want that to happen to you. So go, enjoy, take your time, and really soak it all in because it's amazing. There you go, everything you need to know before your first trip to Disneyland. I hope you're feeling more confident, excited, and ready to make some unforgettable memories. If this helped, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and let me know in the comments when your trip is. I'd love to cheer you on. Or if you're already a Disneyland pro, drop your tips down in the comments and let's help each other out. Make sure you're following along for more Disneyland trips, planning info, and fun. We'll talk soon.